What's going on, Aries? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic month so far. I'm excited, Aries, but you'll see why in a second. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just epic, Aries, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself is brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why I'm so geeked up, Aries, because it is Celestial News Monthly. I mean, it's a greatest time of the month there, Aries. How could we not be pumped? I do. I love Celestial News Monthly. But with this monthly spread, Aries, when the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? And I'm feeling extra dramatic today. So with all that being said, Aries, let's jump into it. That was a little much, excuse me. But Aries, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Aries. Now, Aries, I have oracle cards here, zodiac oracle cards with each of the signs that the sun and the planets are in. I'm going to pull an oracle card from this deck for each one, and then we'll get some details with the tarot. And this is a newer decks that I've been working with, Aries, so hopefully you'll like them as much as I have been so far. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching their areas, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive energy that they bring. I think you would really enjoy them. But before we get into this energy here, that's dope, Aries. Let's talk about this little party that Sag is throwing in their sign, because you got the sun that's entering Sagittarius, and then you got your ruler, Mars, that's going to be entering a couple days after. But with the sun will be entering Sagittarius on the 22nd of November, and that'll be about 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time, and then we'll be there through the 21st of December. And with this energy, Aries, you may feel more inclined to kind of take risk and really embrace adventure, because Sagittarius, they're the adventures of the zodiac. They're always on the moon, always on the moon. They're just on the, look out, see? I mean, they'll go, the sky, the moon is the limits for Sagittarius. No, but they are always on the move and looking for ways to grow and expand their knowledge, and they really do have an open mind there, Aries. So this is a great energy for that, taking those kind of like calculated risks, journeying out of your comfort zone. But also too, you may notice that this brings about more optimism and positivity. I you know, the last time the sun entered Sagittarius last year, I was like really inspired. I was doing my recordings on this little table. You should have seen my set. I should have taken a picture of it. It was very impractical. But I mean, it made use of what I had at the time. But I literally woke up and was just like, oh my gosh, I can move this from here to here. It's a whole different vibe when Sag season comes through. So hopefully you'll be feeling that too there, Aries. But this is also great for physical journeys and intellectual pursuits. So maybe you want to go to a different state that you've never been to, or maybe to a different country, different continent, whatever that's looking like there for you, Aries. Definitely journey out for that. But also, again, with this intellectual pursuits, maybe we want to pick up a new language possibly, or start, maybe making more time to do some reading, or maybe take up some online courses, maybe even think about going back to school, whatever that's looking like for you. They're Jupiter ruled, so Jupiter really promotes that energy of growth and expansion. And you may notice too, Aries, that you find it easier to speak your mind. I feel like communication really comes through strong with Sagittarius. So another great energy to work with as well. But then let's talk about your ruler, Mars, because Mars is going to enter on the 24th of November and will be there through the 4th of January 2024. And with this, Aries, there's a desire to really seek out new experiences and challenges. So, really embracing the new, opening your mind up to things that you never tried before. Maybe going to a restaurant you've never been to, maybe going to a different side of town that you never explored. Anything, I feel like, you're really going to start with your ruler being there over the next couple months, is really going to really embody that exploration, that exploratory type of energy, that adventure, that very uplifting energy there for you, Aries. So enjoy that. But again, you may notice too a willingness to take more risk and step out of your comfort zone. So be open to that. But you may notice too that you may be more direct and candid in your communication and your actions. And where Sagittarius is a very honest sign, we do want to be mindful of that infamous bluntness that they do have, as or they may be known for as well, because where the honesty, I'm all about it. If you got, let's see, we need to lay out some harsh truths, let's go ahead and knock that energy out. But sometimes you have to be mindful. I got a lot of fire in my chart, so that might be part way why. But not everyone, how a fire sign may take that honesty may be different than how like an earth sign or a water sign and air sign will take it. So we just want to be mindful of that bluntness and maybe just be, just kind of feel out the crowd there, Aries. And then, depending on where your Aries placements are at, these energies are going to be forming trines with your sign, which is very fortunate energy, brings about really great luck, collaborative energy, and it like removes blockages out of the way for you. It's very fast moving, so something to pay attention to. Now with the sun, that's more of a neutral energy that you'll be feeling, but Mars, your ruler, is a malefic planet, so that even with that positive trine energy, there may be a little bit of challenges in how fast things are moving. So just something to pay attention to there, Aries. But let's get into your first card here, Aries, because I like this. Look at this. You got the Islands of Serenity card. And with this is find pockets of, this card says find pockets of peace amidst life's chaos. They are your sanctuaries of rejuvenation. And I like this energy, Aries, considering too we were just talking about that fast moving energy of the trines, because life can be chaotic at times. There's so much that is going on in this journey, from what we want to do with our lives to our obligations, to if we have like a family, maybe you have children, getting them on order, hanging out with friends, hanging out with self, finding source, like there's so many things to consider. It's like, do you have either a safe space to just come to and just regather your energies, or do you have different practices that you do when you do find yourself maybe feeling overly stressed or feeling anxious or anything along those lines? Are we practicing some deep breathing, or do we have some affirmations that we say to ourselves? How do you return to present in the midst of this storm? She's giving me very King of Cups types of vibes, how she's meditating on this ocean. And I feel that it's, if you were to get caught up in the wave, this is going to be, I feel like, a big thing for you to pay attention to this month, Aries, or during this season, is to how do you keep that tranquil energy in the midst of a storm? Because when we think about the King of Cups, if you were to just pay attention to all of the things that are going on in the sea and just chasing after everything, he would never come back up for air. And so I feel this is, you're being in an energy of observance and just making sure that you are being not getting into that reactive energy and taking time to rejuvenate your energies. Because I do feel with your sign being the cardinal fire sign, you have no problem starting things up, but I feel like we want to be mindful just jumping into things and getting into that reactive type of energy when we're making choices, making sure that there is this zen space that's happening before we jump into things. So but let's get some tarot on this and get some details. well, I'm going to get a stack. But now we're going to get one more. Perfect. Indefinitely. Alright, Aries, let's see what's going on here. Alrighty, so you have the Two of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Moon card here, Aries. And I'm feeling this energy of making sure with this Fool and this Ten of Wands, how these two are coming together, is making sure that we're not taking on too much on our plate and doing this thing where we're, see how this guy here, he's got all the wands, just carrying literally all the wands, and just make sure that we're just not, that we're in a good place before we start initiating some things. Because where Sagittarius, and with your ruler being in Sag, you can get to this, again, this sort of inspired energy. And I feel like yours is a very inspirational sign there too already, Aries. So it's like you got that extra heat. Because Mars does very well in fire signs outside of Scorpio and yourself. And you know, I just feel like burnout is going to be the biggest one that, or big thing that's going to be a focus for you. And I feel like this energy is definitely making sure with the Two of Cups, making sure to take care of yourself. Whether this be, again, finding maybe different forms of meditation, or when you get back from your, you know, all the stress, you know, finding things to unwind. Maybe this is like reading a book or listening to some calming music, maybe lighting some incense, just making sure that we have that balance in our everyday lives, which I feel like is going to partner very well with Capricorn energy as well, with what's gone down in Cap. But I think I'm going to get a little bit more on this moon, because even with the Fool and the Moon energy, how that's even coming up, it even feels like that there's this it's like there's this energy of needing to journey into, if we don't have that place of escape. And I don't mean just like a physical place of escape, you know, like let's say like your room, or like a wherever that might look. I remember, you know, working in restaurants, you know, when you find yourself in chaos, one of the places to run to is like the walk-in. Go into cooler, kind of cool off for a second, gather yourself, scream, cry, whatever the hell that's looking like, and then getting back to center. But I almost feel like this energy with the moon is like, if you haven't found that safe space within as well, what does that look like when you can't physically remove yourself from a situation? But let me get a little bit more on this moon card here before we move on, Aries. It's like, what is your safe, like your happy place look like? You know, are you meditating? Are you sitting cross-legged meditated on an ocean? Are you in a beach? Are you visualizing the woods? What does that look like? But and because I feel like that's going to be an important thing too when it comes to the decisions that you make, Mark. So the moon is clarified by the Ace of Swords here, Aries. And yeah, I feel like that, making sure that you have a space that you can go to clear your head is going to be very, yeah, it's going to be important. I feel like even with the decisions that you're going to make, because I feel something is manifesting, like you're getting ready to start something new. But it's like, just paying attention where your head's at when we're making these decisions, so that we're not taking on another thing and not being able to do it to its fullest. So I think I'm going to leave that there, which is something to think about there, Aries. But now let's talk about Cap. Good old Capricorn, because this might be a tough one for you. It's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for Cancer too. My sun signs in Cancer. But you got who do we got? We have Mercury, that's going to be entering Capricorn here soon and getting ready to do their retrograde dance. And then you got Pluto in Cap. Now with Mercury, Mercury is going to first. We'll talk about first just Mercury entering Capricorn, which is going to happen on the 1st of December. And I like when Mercury's in Capricorn because this, I feel like, one, this energy brings about a heightened ability to think strategically and really plan for the future. Because, Capricorn is very principled, very structured, very ambitious, and is about that long term win, that long term gain. They deal with like careers being associated with the 10th house. So, great energy for getting things in order. But this really encourages responsible decision making and focus on practical outcomes as well. Where I'm all for achieving dreams and things, same with Capricorn, but it's just like, how do we take these wild dreams that we have with this Pisces energy and ground that? That's going to be a really big thing with Capricorn. They're not just going to jump into things all willy nilly. They're going to make sure that this is going to yield the results that they're wanting and then some there, that they're not just taking on more of a burden or anything along those lines. Something with that 10 of Cups there, Aries, or excuse me, 10 of Wands. Be mindful of that. But also too, goals and achievements may become your central themes during this little chunk of time there. So really be thinking about what you're trying to manifest with this Ace of Swords here, and then get this thing started with taking your thoughts and manifesting that with the Page of Pentacles, and I feel like even being adaptable with this energy as well. But before I jump back into your reading, let's talk about the retrograde energy, because retrogrades really aren't meant to be this sort of like feared thing. Retrogrades slow down the energy and allow us to reflect on what we're doing with whatever that planet is going retrograde in, depending on what sign that it is doing this retrograde in as well. And even with like where because I want to say Mercury's in my 4th house right now, and it'll be going into my probably 5th or 6th house once we get around this time. So even paying attention to that type of energies where that's going on. But with Mercury retrograde, just without the sign, Mercury retrograde does bring about some, might find yourself kind of serving up a word salad there. It's communication does become a little tricky, and I feel like that's especially be mindful of that with Sagittarius season, just because again that bluntness, sometimes our mouths can get ahead of our heads sometimes. So that's something to be mindful of. And I was actually telling Scorpio, I definitely making a mental note of that, because I do that even without the retrograde. But then you have, but with them being specifically retrograde in Capricorn on the 13th of December, this is a great time to reevaluate your long-term plans, career objectives, and your personal aspirations. So making sure that just your actions are lining up with your words, and if not, how can we shift things into that direction, making sure we're working smarter, not harder, even with this energy there, Aries. And then this too, because Capricorn is such a hard work, probably the hardest working sign of the zodiac. This is about finding balance between our professional responsibilities and our personal lives, making sure that we're having times to, there's plenty of times to get your work done and all these things here, but make sure that you have time to play and enjoy the abundance that you are accumulating, Aries. That's a big factor of that. And then there may be an increased sense of duty and of focus on fulfilling your obligations. So again, very kind of goal oriented, very driven energy that comes through there with Capricorn. So pay attention to that. But then you also have Pluto, that's in Cap and will be in Capricorn until Aquarius season, the 20th of January 2024. And with this, this, when we get into like the outer planets, we're talking even Big Papa Jupiter, I'm throwing in on that. But we're talking Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. When those outer planets make a move, especially those really kind of outer ones, so even like Saturn on down, because Jupiter just changes at least once a year. But this is definitely dealing on a global type of scale there, as well as a individual. But this can lead to shifts in power dynamics. There's going to be a breakdown of outdated systems, which has already been going down. Things have just been changing. But this is a very strong placement for Pluto to be in. I feel like it's very, very goal oriented, very driven, very getting your power in that sense of like having the power to achieve your dreams. I like Pluto and Capricorn too, but you also may notice a heightened sense of responsibility towards societal and global issues. So bringing about that change, maybe taking on, and that might even be too here, Aries. Let me get your well, hold on, I'm kind of all over the place because it's Ten of Wands. It's either make sure that we're not taking on too much, or maybe even jumping into taking a more responsible energy, or going from this Page of Pentacles and getting into like a King of Pentacles, getting in that more responsible type of energy there. But we'll get into that in a moment. But also, depending on where your placements are at, this is forming a square with your sign. Now, squares are a bit tougher energies because the energies, they don't have anything in common. They're conflicting. You know, that fire and that earth energy are colliding, and squares can lead to delays. They can lead to challenges. They can lead to yeah, just things seeming like you're getting in your way, but that doesn't mean that you won't receive your abundance and there won't be that win. It's just we have to work a little harder at it when it's coming with this Capricorn energy. So just something to be aware of there with that Aries. But let's go ahead and get another oracle on this. And then other than that, Aries, you don't have a lot of aspects that are going to be forming with your planets right now. It's pretty light for you this season. I feel like if anything, this is like your reprieve in a sense, to take that break, to find your it's like a respite. You know, find your serenity now, because once Capricorn season, more planets start moving in the Cap, it will, then we're gonna start feeling that a little bit more there. Ooh, interesting. All right, Aries. So you have Nature's Whisperer. And with this card says, be attuned to nature's rhythms and cycles. They mirror our ebbs and flows. They mirror our own ebbs and flows. And that's very interesting, Aries. You are getting a lot of very tranquil energy, I feel like, coming through there. And I do feel that it's, while just if you haven't been making moments to maybe get outside, or maybe even like the weather has been, if because we are starting to get towards, depending on where you're at in the world, we're starting to get towards like the winter months where I'm at. And maybe if you can't get out in nature, maybe even like just like getting like a little house plant, maybe something to just have some life in, so you can tune into the cycles. And I feel like too, even paying attention to your environment. How's your living space looking? Because that is a strong indicator of how our internal world is going as well. If things seem kind of messy and disorderly, that can be an energy of needing to take stock and Two of Cups. Do some self-care. Maybe cleanse the energy, clean the space, maybe rearrange your space even. Even that, something as simple as like that sort of energy shift can kind of get you operating in a different type of way, bring some clarity to your head, and get you manifesting in a way. So, but yeah, I feel like getting outside, maybe getting by some water, maybe even like taking more of a, maybe even like being just even intentional when you're around the elements, maybe like taking a bath or a shower and having some candles lit, and very sensual type of energy, I feel like, kind of coming through here, Aries. So, but let's get some tarot on this and get some routine. Maybe doing some moon bathing. I know we just got into the new lunar cycle, but yeah, maybe I'm thinking about doing some moon gazing, or let's see what's going on here. Making sure there's fresh air just kind of flowing through your home. Getting maybe cracking some windows open, whatever that's looking like. And maybe even just like listening to nature sounds, even, like where I'm all, just Thank you. Alright, Aries, let's see what's going on here. Oh, a lot of cups. Alright, so you have the Four of Cups, the Six of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Nine of Cups, right, the Ten of Pentacles, and then the Hermit here, Aries. And let's start with the Hermit. Because I do feel that there may be a need, Aries, for you to. It's like meditation and things seem to be very important for you going into this season here. Maybe even kind of reflecting on if we're having to have like a clear vision as far as like what we're trying to achieve, where are we at on our journey. These might be some bigger questions that you may be kind of asking yourself here, but I feel with the Four of Cups, it's like getting into this more sort of meditative, kind of calmer states will help open up your connection to source. Because in the Four of Cups, it's usually like this, there's like this figure's focusing on these three empty cups, and the universe is presenting them a brand new refreshed cup there. But there may be something here where it's like we may be caught up in something with the Six of Cups. I feel there might even be this sort of wave, this sort of like past driven or maybe even like nostalgic energy that's coming through here, that we may need to let go of. But it's just like something that we've been holding on to, with maybe even with this Ten of Wands for a while, that's just become this burden, and it's getting in the way of your wish fulfillment. It's getting in the way of your manifestation of your. They're just really affecting your vibration. So doing things, and that's interesting too, just even kind of paying attention to that you have Pisces here and Virgo, the Hermit. Those two are opposite signs, but they're opposites in this particular energy, because Pisces is, they're such a spiritual energy. We can learn a lot from our opposites, and their purpose with learning from Virgo is how to take that spiritual energy and incorporate it in the everyday kind of routine sort of energies, whereas Virgo, it's detaching a bit from this earthly realm and tuning into the divine and finding that higher self to help them manifest better in this world. So, and that's what ultimately the goals are. But I do feel like that's going to be an important task for you, is to is finding those places of zen to connect with source. And I feel even with the Six of Cups too, because there's this, the Six of Cups can be like the sharing energy, and I feel like it's when you connect with your higher self or your spirit guides, your deities, your angels, whatever that's looking, the higher powers. It's sharing these thoughts and these concerns as far as like what you want to start up, where you at on your journey, any sort of burdens that you're carrying, whatever that's looking like, and making that a point so that the universe can give you these spiritual insights, these ways of coming over and getting towards your Ten of Pentacles here. And yeah, but yeah, very interesting, very calming energy I feel like is trying to come through here, Aries. So just something to think about. But let's get some tea, and then let's talk about Venus, because the Empress is going to be moving into Scorpio on the 4th of December and will be there through the 29th of December. And with this energy, Aries, this encourages us to explore deeper layers of our emotions and our desires. And especially with how you've started off so far, I feel like that's going to be really tuning into that, Aries. But also, you may notice too that our relationships may go through significant changes. And however that may be looking like, maybe there might be some relationships ending, or maybe some relationships are getting ready to go a little deeper. Maybe we're thinking about joining finances possibly, or maybe thinking about moving in with someone, or maybe even getting married, whatever that may be looking like. And this is a great energy too, speaking of joint finances and things, because that's one aspect that Scorpio deals with. They deal with loans, and Scorpio is very financially savvy, very similar to Taurus in a way, but you're very good for money as well. There may be some changes in that, so that's something. But also, too, you may feel inclined to explore areas of love and intimacy in a more deeper and open type of way. This is, Scorpio energy is not about superficial interactions. They really do take that one-on-one bond that's formed with Libra and then take it to that next level. So some interesting energy that comes through there. And technically this is, this is where Venus is in detriment, is in Scorpio along. She's in detriment in Scorpio and in your sign there, Aries. So the energy operates a little weaker there because this is some intense stuff for the Empress to deal with, but it can still be very rewarding energy as well. But let's get some tarot on this. Or, sorry, get an oracle on this. Going on here, Aries? Interesting. All right, Aries. So you have the Bridges of Transition. And this card says, embrace changes, build connections, and traverse life's phases with grace. And that's interesting that that would pop up on Scorpio's card. Because I do feel, and this is, because your energy is very fascinating, Aries, with what's coming through here. I do feel like there is something that is trying to happen here. That's like, it's like we're trying to bring something to fruition, but we're going to need to build that connection with others, yes, but I do feel like, too, for you, especially with Source and connecting with your higher powers, listening to that intuition of yours, and have compassion for where you're at on your journey. Because I feel there may be, for some, we may get into that sort of energy where we, like that almost like self-deprecating energy. We want to be mindful of that, because when our mind is getting in chaos and our resonance is all messed up, and that's where we're manifesting that negative energies towards us. So, but I do feel like that you are getting ready to go through. You're coming to, like, I'm getting like the World card energy where we're getting ready to close a chapter out here and then jump to the Fool card, which you started off with, but I feel there's something here with the Eight of Cups and maybe even like the Six of Cups that we're still clinging on to, that's holding us down and forgetting us from, that's becoming this burden, and it's getting us from getting to this Ten of Pentacles here. And it might be something that we might be fearing with the Moon being here, Aries. But if we face whatever this is during this season, I feel like how it was clarified with the Ace of Swords. I feel like that's a really great thing to be clarified by, is divine clarity, divine insight. But let me get some tarot on this this transition card and get some details. Yeah, it's like we're entering a different phase here, and there's going to need to be keeping a cool head in this, in whatever is happening here. Alright, Aries. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, so you have the Hanged Man, the Strength card, the Seven of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Two of Swords here, Aries. And I do feel like with these changes, there's going to be just like a lot of energy that is coming your way, and maybe even like newer, maybe for some, maybe we're getting ready to change jobs, possibly, and that could be, where you gotta introduce yourself to a whole bunch of people, build those connections, find out what energies vibe with us, what don't, or maybe we're getting ready to move to a new place, or maybe change careers, or whatever this is. But with the Eight of Pentacles being here, I do feel a busy energy that's getting ready to come through, and we're going to need to be able to, again, keep your cool in all of this. And I feel like it's going to call upon a lot of strength and a lot of confidence with what these changes are going through here. And I feel even for some that we may even start seeing things from a newer perspective, even with the Hanged Man being here, because that's very fascinating. That I even feel with this, like seeing where we may be kind of sacrificing our energies some, and where we may be overworking or just channeling our stuff into things that don't necessarily resonate with us, even, and making sure too with the Seven of Wands to protect your energy, Aries, and be mindful of with these changes of criticisms and things, especially for ones that you may put on yourself, because that is going to really affect your energy as well. So, and I even feel too, just since you got the Hanged Man here, Neptune, and their rule in the sign that they rule, Pisces, be mindful of escaping, trying to find that peace in like escapisms, like whatever this be, where we get into an unhealthy type of standpoint. I'm even getting sort of like, like devil vibes, whether this be drinking or anything that you can do in excess in order to escape reality. Just want to be extra mindful of that as well there, Aries. But I am even for two with that strength card, and how I was talking about with that 10 of Wands maybe being about taking more on our plate. With the 8 of Pentacles, that strength card, 10 of Wands, we may be transitioning into a more sort of leadership type of role. Maybe you're becoming into a management position. Maybe we're starting our own business. Or we're just taking charge of where this life is going and needing to just do a little bit more, bring a little bit more to the table. So, alright, Aries, but I think I'm going to leave that there. So, yeah, very interesting energy coming through here. Now let's talk about Taurus, because you have Jupiter and Uranus that are both retrograde still in Taurus. Now, Big Papa's going to be, Jupiter is going to be, I don't know when that happened, but Big Papa Jupiter is going to be retrograde until the 30th of December. And with this is great for reevaluating your approach to wealth and investments and material comforts. Taurus deals with that like long-term security. They don't want anything that's going to be fleeting or that's going to get them in a that's going to put them in a precarious situation. So, and that's where it's like, how do we take the abundance that Jupiter gives and make that last long term there? Keep the 10 of Pentacles, baby, all day. How do we keep that energy going there? And this may be too, you may seek out advice for like maybe managing your finances possibly, or maybe you might be looking into developing some sort of, or buying some land, or maybe growing some crops, or whatever that's looking like there, Aries. Just something to think about. Definitely think about 10 of Pentacles, like long game, the legacy that you're leaving behind with Jupiter retrograde in Taurus. And then you have Uranus that's going to be retrograde until the 27th of January 2024. And we've already had these really changes in our currency and our investments, and even in like our economic structures, and we still have a couple more years of this Uranus energy. So we're still going strong. And how do we keep that peace and that serenity in these times, and the chaotic energy that Uranus, the full energy, can bring into this there, Aries. So yes, that's just something to think about there. Because even as I was saying that, I had this flash with the Fool here. It's just like that. We may be jumping into new type of situations, Aries. That's Let me get an oracle card on this and get some details with that. Aries. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, interesting. All right, so you have, and I like this, Aries, because you have the Quill of Destiny. And this card says, write your narrative. You're the author of your life's tale. And absolutely you are. It's very magician energy all the way. And I feel that this is paying attention to, because I feel like for some, you might be feeling with all these changes that may happen, that we can feel that out of control of our lives, and that the things, how we planned things necessarily didn't quite work out how we wanted to, or that it's just like that things just happen to us as opposed to us manifesting our own dreams. And I feel that this is, and this might be something to Aries, if things have been kind of feeling sort of chaotic and like things haven't been going your way, maybe there is a need to literally write this stuff down. What has gotten off of track, and how can we get these things back in alignment? And are you really aligned with the thing that you're trying to create? Or is this something that may have even been put on you? Possibly some really kind of deep, reflective work, I feel like, is coming from this Quill of Destiny here. And paying attention to maybe writing down some of these transitions that may happen over this next season, or may that have even been happening prior to this. And if we're not pleased with the tale that we're in right now, it's like, what can we do to change that narrative? Or is there something that we're fearing with the moon, that we need to jump into the unknown to do this thing and have this courage and this strength to see things? And this, it's almost like this, essentially, like if we were to take doing this introspective work, it can even lead to this epiphany with the Hanged Man, and seeing things from a newer perspective. But let's get some tarot on this, Aries, and get some details. Those cards in a second, Aries. Maybe don't shuffle so close to the edge. Alright, thank you. Let's see, grab these cards, Aries. Make sure that's all that's filled. Okay, and let's see what's going on here. Oh! Alright, look at you, Ace. So you have the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Page of Cups here, Aries. And that's interesting. And I like this too, especially how you have... So I'm getting a couple things with these, how these aces are coming together. Because with this Quill of Destiny, I like that you have your Ace of Cups, your Ace of Swords, your thoughts. The Ace of Wands is that creative energy coming into that fuel, and then the Ace of Pentacles is that manifestation. But I feel that for some there is this water that is missing. This really resonating with you. Is this something that we're feeling, or is this something that someone else has written out for you? With this Quill of Destiny here. And I think that's a big question to kind of ask here. Are we taking on the burdens of someone else's dreams or someone else's expectations? Maybe you have this sort of legacy that you need to join like the military, or maybe become a doctor, or maybe come from a family of writers and is living up to that expectation, or for whatever that may be looking like. But it's just making sure that before you begin something here, or maybe you've already something is already in the mix and it's not quite working out how we wanted to. There's this disappointing type of energy there that's coming through, and almost even this Page of Cups is giving me this immature energy, only in a sense of just like not quite. It's like our inner child is not happy with where we're going. It's like, sure, you may feel like, how do I want to put that? It just feels like that this is not what necessarily that you signed up for, that we've just kind of came into this role instead of really. Let me get a little bit more with this Page of Cups here, Aries. See if I can get a little bit more on that, because that's interesting with that card. And maybe even for some, if we was like, we might be having this realization, but we may feel that we're already too invested into one other thing to just up and change what we want to do. But you know, life is interesting like that, Aries. Sometimes, you know, and that's not to say that the time you've spent doing something was a total waste of time. You needed those skills for a reason, but it may not be for the ultimate cause that you were trying to accomplish for this go around. Or this go round. But let me get some energy with this, a little bit more of this Page of Cups here. Interesting. So the Page of Cups is clarified by the Queen of Wands, one of your cards for me, and the Five of Wands. And I feel that there is this sort of internal struggle that might be happening for some of you, Aries, where it's like where our passion, our drive doesn't, it's conflicting with conflicting with what we're doing. And it's, you know, but the Five of Wands isn't just being in that conflict, it's recognizing the conflict and then how do we go about working towards that solution and listening to our intuition, because the Queen of Wands is a very powerful manifester. She really follows her heart. She uses that sunflower there. It points towards the sun, which is her happiness, it's her clarity. And I feel like that nature's whisperer. It's like higher self is trying to get to you, like, you know, like, this isn't right, Aries. This isn't quite all the track that you're wanting to be on. This is really how you want this story to turn out. So really pay attention to that, Aries. I feel like over this season, and make sure that we are aligning with our life's goals there. But I think I'm gonna move on from that. So all right, now let's get into this last energy here, which is Pisces. Let's get a little tea first, because you have Saturn that's in Pisces, and Neptune's getting ready to go direct in Pisces as well. And let's start with Neptune, because Neptune's going to go direct. Oh, I want to say on the 6th of December, and she'll be in Pisces for another few years, but another couple of years. But with Neptune being in Pisces or going direct in Pisces, this is really great for creative expression, because they are Neptune and Pisces. And you got Neptune and Pisces here. Let's put those two by each other. But Neptune and Pisces, they live in the biggest house, the 12th house, and that's the house of dreams and fantasies, and, you know, really just very spiritual, intuitive energy that's lying there. So this can be for some making moments to pursue kind of creative pursuits, and not necessarily that that's going to be like your dream per se, but just making more times to create some things, you know, do some art, maybe work on some cars, you know, build that could even be a form of art, or doing some music, some dancing, some crafting, or even fashion, maybe making some clothes even, or something along those lines, crocheting. But you know, great energy for tapping into that energy and getting connected to source. And that was a very strong indicator of you in a really type of, I feel like there's this emphasis of need, you know, you tune into source, that's going to really be to your benefit. You're really going to feel a little more control of the changes and the transitions that are happening for you, Aries. Considering too, like, we know when this is coming out, your ruler is still in Scorpio for a little bit. So You're in a really strong intuitive energy, so pay attention to that. And Sagittarius too, they're a very, let me not knock them off either. They're a very spiritual sign. They're associated with the ninth house, which was, now it's the house of spirituality, but prior to was, like amongst, traveling things, was the house of God, connecting to that higher source. So you're still in a very, very spiritual energy there, Aries. So be mindful of that with this Neptune and Pisces. Couple that energy together, but this is also great, excellent practices for meditation and maybe even doing some dream analysis there. So if you do find yourselves being active dreamers there, keep a journal nearby. That could even help you manifest your what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out there, artist or author. Oh, goodness. To help you out with your dreams and things there, Aries. I think I had another word for it, but that's fine. And then you have Saturn. That's going to be in Pisces till 2025 of May. And with this energy, this is one being mindful of of emotional boundaries, just because Pisces does have this huge compassion for the world, and sometimes boundaries can be tough for them, so we want to be mindful of that. And also too, a great energy for being a little more disciplined with our intuition, and really kind of focusing on things to strengthen that bond and to make your dreams come true. It's really, I like this placement for Saturn. I feel like can be one where we really accomplish some really, really fantastic things there, Aries. But let's get your last oracle card here. Nice and interesting. So you have the sunrise of beginnings here, Aries, of new beginnings. And this card says, with every dawn comes fresh opportunities. Embrace the promise of what's to come. And that's what I feel like is happening here. You are going through this transitory period, and I feel like this really is about enjoying the ride. But it's not, I feel like, not just life happening to you either, though, Aries, because again, you have this quill of destiny. It's like the universe has given you the the quill to write what it is that you want. Be very intentional with your manifestation, and making sure we're not just starting up things, I feel like, just because. Making sure that we're leading with that head, heart, just all the elements just coming into alignment here. And if you do feel like you've been, maybe for some, we feel like we may come across like where we have like writer's block, for a sense, as far as like not knowing where we want to go. Sometimes getting out of your environment even can help. Getting out into nature, or just even going on a brief walk, just something to get the energies moving, maybe doing some yoga, or maybe even working out, or just something to get the energies going through. I feel like it's going to really help you to embody this new type of energy that's coming through here. But let's get your tarot cards, and so I can get you out of here, get you thinking about what this next chapter is getting ready to look like for you, Aries. Grab this card, Aries. Ha! Love that. Ooh, there she is. Alright, Aries. Where'd your other girl go? Okay. So, you have the... Oh, what's going on here? Okay. So, you have the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Magician, and my lovely lady here, the Empress. And let's switch back over here, Aries. because I feel with this energy, Aries, that I do feel that with these new beginnings and this transition that we're going to need to really tap into your resources in a sense and really get creative with your manifestation, because that quill of destiny, you get that quill coupled with your magician energy. I feel like I was talking about that earlier. Your energies are getting ready to harmonize in a very special type of way where you can get the abundance that you're trying to accomplish. Because even oh, where the because even with like the Seven of Cups, this is like a card of options here, and I feel like it's trying not to be overwhelmed by what you want to do as well, because maybe for someone it's just like we had that writer's block as far as like not sure what you want to manifest because there's so many things that you want to do. Pick which one that really resonates with you. Trust your instincts and then follow that through, because it's all, the Three of Wands is like getting ready to like embark on like a long journey, like something is getting ready to really start to, the real expansion is starting to grow here. This is one of your cards. This is the Sun in Aries, and I feel I'm picturing, because usually in the Three of Wands, there's a figure that's looking out over the horizon, and there's this like big body of water. There's some boats that are passing by, and it's just like, where do you want to go? What kind of adventure are you trying to have there, Aries? And then start making what you love, and just really, because the Queen of Pentacles, she takes what she loves and then manifests that. She really just creates her abundance and finds the resources in order to do whatever it is that her heart's desire. So this is a very dope energy for you here, Aries, and I feel that you are in a place where you can really do some very very cool things, and a lot of growth I feel like can come from this energy as well. So just something to think about with this with all this stuff coming through here. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. So if anything resonated with you, Aries, or if you like that, give it a thumbs up and share this, because I feel like that it is going to be very important to find that state of zen in the midst of chaos, and not allowing, like the chaos that life can bring, to have you like scratching out things on your journey, maybe doubting yourself as far as like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this or maybe I shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely share this, Aries. And then subscribe there, you Queen of Pentacles. Hit that bell button to get notified on all these videos each week. And then last little bit, if you have any Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Cherry Den, friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. Absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans, even when they're Pisces. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. And I like this, Aries, because this is another one of your cards here. You got the Two of Wands. This is your hottest card, because this card is Mars in Aries. And so I feel like with this Two of Wands, it's just like, it's really, especially if we feel like we haven't been on track with our journey, it's finding our resonance again with where we want to go, and making sure our energies are vibing with that, with our destination. And then Queen of Wands, going with that, with gusto, and really kind of seizing the day there, Aries, and coming into this whole new you. And I feel that even but let me get your oracle card here so I can get you out of here. Nice. I'm with that, Aries. Because you got the Festival card here. And I do feel like that this is an energy of you know, we're getting ready to celebrate some things, and to celebrate the transition and the the changes that do come in this life, and know that you are the author of your story. The things that you want to have, you can have. And it's being, I feel like it is definitely Queen of Pentacles, being tuned into the rhythms and the cycles of nature, and finding the times when we need to work, and then finding the times where we need to rest and celebrate. That work smart, play smart type of energy there. But I do feel that whatever it is that you're writing up there, you author, it's going to be something where you'll be able to sit around and you sit around and celebrate, or stand up and dance around and celebrate. But one more thing, I almost feel like that there's this energy of just sitting in, like, amongst nature. Maybe if you can start like a, you know, safely, of course, you know, maybe starting like a, being around like a fire, like a little campfire or something, and just being amongst the elements, and really communicating your wishes and your dreams and desires to the universe. And I feel like that will really come back to you, Aries. So I like that. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there. You know, make sure to keep zen with all these transitions and new beginnings and things, and you raise your vibration to the roof. Take some time, maybe do some writing in between, whatever that's looking like there. But and I will catch you, Aries, on the next one. Later.